You know it's going to be one of those days when you look around and you realize you don't have absolutely anything that you had when you came downstairs. There is so much stuff in the news that I don't even know where to start. I don't even know when to start. 833-212-1017 is the number. So I got a beef, and I'm a beef about it. And that'll be that. If you got an issue with it, 833-212-1017 is the number. The election is over. Yes, we'll talk about it. We have a Supreme Court justice. Yes, we'll talk about it. But we got some other races and some other referenda that went on in the city of Milwaukee that was kind of made me go, what? So we'll discuss all that. But, or should I say, and yet, I came across a story today that I talked about before. Are people in the Biden administration just taking advantage of the fact that they're in the Biden administration and they can kind of just make up rules that they want to? Like, do they realize that you can't just make up? We've decided and then just make it up. 28 groups are urging President Biden his administration to support women's sports and fight an unlawful Title IX regulation. So the Biden administration decided they were going to expand Title IX application of sex discrimination and include gender identity. Now, I'm going to just say it up front so everybody understands where I'm coming from. That's stupid. More than 24 organizations are urging the Biden administration to abandon plans to allow biological males to compete in women's sports and use the same locker rooms. In 2022, Biden's Education Department proposed regulations on the Title IX of the Education Amendments of 1972 to expand the meaning of sex discrimination to include gender identity. Another round of regulations will be released by the department this spring that will specifically address Title IX's application to transgender athletes participating in women's sport. Why won't you just give them their own sport? And then they can just do what they want to do. If you are not mainstream, get over it, get around it, do whatever you want to do. I guess mainstream isn't the right word. What's the word to use? You're like a third political party, right? But you can't be included in all the other political parties because you yourself said you're different. So you can get all the rights and all the benefits of Title IX. Get your own sport. That is the only way it's going to be equal. What you can't do is move women out the way because you decide you're a woman and then overtake everything in their world. Because you're not. And we can argue about it. We can talk about it. You can scream and holler about it. You can call me a fascist. You can call me a conservative. You can call me a liberal. You can call me whatever you want. I get it. But what about the women? Does what a woman wants is that to be allowed to be overshadowed by a man who decides he's a woman? I say no. That's it. If a woman doesn't feel comfortable with a person in the locker room who used to be a man and now considers themselves a woman, the woman should not lose her right to feel safe and private to make them happy. Any more so than a man should be, I'm okay with a woman who now identifies as a man coming into the men's locker room. They need to get out. I'm sorry. Get your own locker room. If you want equity, then you get what I have. Not with me, though. Equity is two people get a car. Equity is not me sharing my car with you. Get your own car. If you want to play sports, get a women's sport that's transgender. And then you can play in the same league, play with each other, just like women play in their own league, play with each other. Men play in their own league, play with each other. Because it doesn't matter if you're male or if you're all female biologically. That's what playing together is about. Title IX is about resources and having equality, not coming in and lording your speed, your born man, your testosterone over a woman so that you can do everything that they do bigger, faster, and stronger. That's not equity. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not bashing the transgender. I'm bashing the transgender who was a man, identifies as a woman, and now wants to play women's sports. That's out of order. Because we all know odds are you're going to win every time. We saw it in swimming. You'll see it in basketball. And so I thought we were going the other way, that we're now broadening and being inclusive. So get your own sport. Get your own teams. Play against each other. I mean, let's roll back the clock, right? Black players play with black players. White players play with white players. If you're mixed, you get to play in a mixed league? I don't know. Like, where are we going with this? But then again, it drives me to ask a question that I've been meaning to ask all along. If your ego allows you to lord yourself over a woman and win a sport with women because you must be afraid to compete with real men, my question to you, what am I missing?
And that is Dr. Ken's Truth on the new 1017 The Truth.
This is 1017 The Truth, Dr. Ken Harris, and the time is now Milwaukee. For the last 3 decades, I've watched this city grow and change to a place where I'm proud to have raised my children there. Through all the greatness, I've seen us suffer as well. I'll share a perspective few can, real, authentic, and well-informed. Listen to Truth in the Afternoon with me, Dr. Ken Harris, sponsored by